there last year.
I thought it was...
We weren't there yesterday.
I know it's probably 21 then.
Yeah.
I didn't have anything in 20, so...
Yeah.
Honestly, though, I think they probably should have done the parade at least in 20, but...
Well,
there you go.
you know, here we are.
They could have done it until televised it or something.
Well, yeah.
Would have been something. Everybody would have been 6 feet apart in their vehicles.
Or something like that. Well, they're having that veterans thing again on 10th or something, 19th, 10th over at Edison School. Like our Honda there. It's not.
That's a much newer one.
It's a little bit newer than ours was.
A lot newer.
Well, it's not the one that has the sweeping windows. It looks like hers. Okay. Everybody and their uncle all at once. Where's everybody going?
Home.
There's a lot of people going home.
Near the mall or what's Saturday.
I don't know if anybody even goes to the mall.
Yeah, just because we don't go there doesn't mean others don't.
That is exactly right.
There's a lot more stuff to do in the south end of town now than there used to be.
Yes, there is. I'm not, and I didn't go to the wine tasting either, so that's okay.
What was that happening today?
That was the 19th, which would have been kind of fun to do, but I don't know how much we're supposed to drink anymore, so.
Yeah, I don't know.
So it's, no drinking's a good thing. Anyhow, that was something
I woke
else.
up and got up and I couldn't move.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. Well, that's speedville time. God, are you getting old?
Well, the options
Preaching to
are
the
kinda
choir
limited.
here.
Options are limited.
Funny thing is, a lot of them that did it, I never had a problem with. They just did it because they saw the image and they was like, "Ooh, that's funny. Let's do this little extra thing to make it more funny."
Causes a few problems down the road, actually.
I find them, they're permanently banned from every community I can find. Thankfully, I have enough respect with enough people now.
You've got a little bit of clout.
That they literally have told me, if you find somebody that's in your community that's screwing around, send their ID this way and we will ban them from our community too.
There you go.
Whether they're in it or not.
Yeah, well.
So I have about 40 different communities.
Yeah.
Some of them very popular communities.
Yeah.
That if I find somebody doing something extremely nasty,
Yep.
let's just drop this in our chat.
Yep. Goodbye.
For server owners.
Oh yeah.
And then they banned them from their community.
Oops.
I got one that was came into our community and was shouting the N-word massively. I sent to we banned him from our community, and I sent it to this this guy is doing this and this and this and the community and stuff, ban him. The guy said he banned him. Says, wow, I didn't know he was one of our management members.
Yeah, well.
He says, we take a zero tolerance policy on the N-word too. I'm like,
yeah, well, no kidding.
Well, I guess you just lost a management member. Sorry.
Yeah, stupid, still stupid.
You want the evidence? We have the video evidence too. Proof that he was actually saying it.
Pretty stupid stuff.
And when we ban him, we have the ID of who he is. So it's not like we're faking it with different names and stuff. We have all the evidence to do it.
Stupid people.
So come screw up in my community, you might be screwed in your own community.
Another happy day at the ranch.
Another happy camper.
Yes. North Dakota, 87 miles out.
Boy, these young kids got a mouth on them. Oh, golly.
Yeah, well.
It's worse than like some of these drunken sea captains or something, you know, from the old days. Some of these kids now. Well, that's right, because now you can't hit kids these days.
Maybe that's part of the problem.
Apparently. You can't even give them timeouts anymore.
The last thing you wanted to do is spank your kid.
You can't do shit anymore to kids. Literally
what
can't
comes out of
anything.
not correcting them? Trouble.
Oh yeah.
You know, they have to have order and respect and honor.
I think they'll have brain damage. Literally. Well, I've had to deal with some of these people in our gaming community. I'm like, yeah, gotta have brain damage, right?
Brainwashed, maybe.
No, not even that good. Pretty much every bad swear word you can think about. Yep. And I've heard them all multiple times.
Pretty dumb stuff.
Yep.
Go for a better run. A squirrel sometimes. Mom said somebody drove into somebody's restaurant or store or something on Broadway. So.
Yeah, I saw that on the news.
Was it farther north?
Oh yeah,
by
it's the north.
by the
It's the north marketplace, I think it is.
North Marketplace.
Yeah, that's what I think they were saying.
I thought it was on Broadway, like at the old North liquor store. To go
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Run over by the truck at one time when it lost its brakes.
I thought it was a marketplace because they were showing it on the news. It might be on Broadway, but
I don't know.
I have to look at the
Somehow I thought it was on North Broadway, but I didn't really study it. I guess we'll find out.
Yeah. But yeah, they crashed right into the front of the store. One person got hurt.
Easily, yeah.
Apparently, either they fell asleep or they were drunk or something.
Yeah.
But it was like something like our pilot or something that ran into the store or something. Yeah. It looks like one of these crossover things.
Inside of that plastic, there is a. But you know, I lost hold of those felt things you put on top of your battery and try to control acid. And they were in the bag, and the wind blew them. And you remember I had trouble with stuff that flew down below and then got up inside of the bumper. Same thing.
Wow.
I had to go. I was looking for it everywhere. I couldn't find it. And unfortunately, I had more, but I was like, what the heck's the deal with this? Well, I got the grabbers that Mom uses. I fished it out. The only way I couldn't come up to the bottom and get it, and I couldn't. I had to use those to come down from the top to get it. And it just pretty tight clearances. There's a lot of stuff packed into these new vehicles. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's so you can't work on them.
No, I'm not gonna try. It took me forever just to get the wiring where you have power in your cabin. That way, if you need to run a couple of your things to the back seat, we're not going to be blowing fuses. It's gonna, as I calculated, it's only a 15 amp line, not a 20.
Yeah.
So I figured that ain't going to get it. So last thing you want to be doing is transmitting on 50 watts while you're trying to use your machine.
Yeah.
That could be a bad idea.
Could be an issue.
Well, I don't know how many amps the machine draws, but some.
Well, again, you can always could hook it up into the battery thing you bring or something.
That is an option too. That's
I have
another.
looked at ones that have a little bit higher volt inverters in them.
It's not a bad, especially if they're clean.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The old one we got is noisy.
What?
That one we had, the Coleman or whatever.
Oh, that thing. Yeah, no, that was
It's cheap and noisy.
Yeah.
But
All these power things have inverters.
well, they did back then.
Oh,
Because they were cheaper.
no. That wasn't a battery pack though.
No,
that was just an inverter.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Boy, does it generate noise.
Oh yeah. Of course.
Wipes out each other. Yeah.
Well, it had no shielding really.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
It was cheap too. So.
Yeah, well, that's why I bought it. Probably.
It's a cheap 300 watt Coleman inverter.
And it does work. But
Washington politics work too.
yeah.
You just don't want to be around it.
Well, you know, let's see what happens out of that stupidity there.
Ooh, this guy's snooter out there, but good.
It's a pretty big van. Pigeons, you're going to be drilled here if you're not careful.
I actually thought there would be as many people here this early, but
Looks like there are.
yeah.
Art's here. Everybody's here.
Well, it's 10:02.
Yeah, really.
Interesting stuff.
Well, we're going to gravel the heck out of it. Sounds like a good idea. Getting the cabinet down, container down, and widen the road. Yeah, it sounds good to me.
Yeah.
That's the new one, I think.
Is that not today?
Yep, that's the new one. Looks like a hearse. But it's a nice, Odyssey is a nice car.
It is.
Sad we got rid of it, but
But it had a lot of
should
problems.
have probably got rid of the Jeep and kept the.
Yeah, well, like you
I
said,
don't know.
don't know how long the doors would have lasted.
Well, that's the thing that scared. Well, a lot of things scared me on it, but the Jeep, though, there were so many electrical problems that needed to be fixed, which would require the doors to be torn apart, and we had the codes that wouldn't reset on the engine. And I think there's probably a lifter that's bad on the engine of the Jeep. Otherwise, it's. But I'm the only one that can get in it.
Yeah.
Basically, me and Jen, and that's it. You know.
Yeah, and the tires
And
need
it doesn't. And it,
the
yeah,
tires
there's
would
going to
be
be
replaced
at least
soon.
$1,000 on tires.
Yeah, so.
And it's only, they gave us 25 for it, so you can spend that much or more
fixing everything.
Just to get it up to what it is. No, it's probably good that it left, but it was a nice vehicle. It did a lot of things well. It was great in the mud, in the bush, and everything else.
Great front.
It didn't. The only bad thing about it was it didn't have ABS,
which is really surprising, actually.
Well, it had everything else.
Because I think your Comanche, which was an '89, had ABS.
I don't think so.
I know my Crown Vic did.
The Crown Vic did, yeah, but I don't.
My '92 Crown Vic.
It was an earlier version of ABS. It
was the one.
good.
It was the force feedback one.
But it yes.
The fight, you fight, yeah.
Yeah, but it worked.
Yes.
And the Jeep didn't have that.
You could definitely know when it slid.
When you were in two-wheel drive with the Jeep, the back end was all over.
Oh, yeah.
As soon as you put it in four-wheel drive, it developed claws. It was fine, but it was a good vehicle for a long time. Got Mama back and forth to work. Mom and I took it on trips, and we also took it to hunting and all kinds of other places. It was a good, solid vehicle. Still solid. I mean, but I had worries about the engine, wiring, and a bunch of other stuff.
It was the last Cherokee they made from till like 2014 when Jen bought hers.
Was the last old school Cherokee, 2001. So they had no trouble selling that.
No.
At all. The van probably just they just sell it somewhere. Vacuum it out maybe. But yeah, because it said Jeep on it, it still ran. Had the cast iron block. You could tear it down and put lifters in it.
The 4-liter engine, not the lower 3.6.
Nope. It was a good, solid, low torque engine. Had a good bit of get up and go actually. I think the Honda's got more get up and go, but it's got twice as much horsepower.
Yeah.
Maybe not twice as much. Yeah, it's got. Yeah, I think the Pilot's got 280 horses, which is pretty impressive for a V6. There's a lot of things right with that, but it's not. Blinded might I have been, but it's like. I think it was better to buy this one than the newer one with 20,000 more miles on it and $5,000-6,000 more money.
Would have all the extra other things on it,
but most of which you don't normally use. I mean, it would have had an AC power source in there. It had another set of 12-volt outlets. It would have had the fog lights. That we almost never.
But the legroom would have been roughly the same.
It would have been the same. So. It would have had individual air conditioning controls in the back.
Yeah.
It would have had the side watching radar.
Yeah.
In your blind spots and that. So it.
Lane departure.
But boy, it was. Well, it's got that. The one we've got. It's got the lane departure in it.
So it's got a few things. It's got a few little extras.
Yeah.
Somebody must have added those little extras though when they bought it.
Well,
because it's not adjacent to the or it's not standard on just the basic model.
It's got everything.
So they threw a few extras into it.
Right. Well, it doesn't have the fog lights. Yeah. It doesn't have the radar on your side.
Not on your side, no.
But it has most everything else. It doesn't have the big fancy radio thing, which we're not going to be plugging into the network or doing navigation with it or any of the rest of that stuff. But it does have a good radio, pretty sensitive actually, and it does seems to be a good air conditioning system. Even though you don't have as much control, it does keep the back cool. So and it's only 43,000 miles. That's big thing on that. We made a couple payments on it. Some more air shortly. Just keep whittling it down. But that was a lot more money than I ever thought I would ever spend on a vehicle. But it wasn't new, and it wasn't.
It's more to spend on the house.
Yeah. Well, money was worth more than. But and we got a better interest rate on the car loan than we got on the house.
Well,
that tells you how bad. That's the way things were back then. No, this is before Reaganomics. This is back in Carter's years. 12% was a good deal. That's
Well, compared to the 22% a lot of it is now. When you buy a house.
Yeah. And 8%. Well, it used to be as 2 or 3%.
How anybody can afford to buy a house now?
Yeah, I don't see.
Even on a 10-year loan or 30-year loan, I don't know how the heck are you supposed to pay that off.
I think we had a 12-year loan and we paid it off in 10 or something like that.
Yeah, but I mean, some of these really expensive $100,000 houses, like, oh yeah, they have a 30-year loan, but even the interest rate on that is 20-some%.
And it's eight.
How are you supposed to?
$1,000 a month payments or something like that.
At least
for 30 years. Yeah.
Plus, whatever the interest thing is like, ouch.
Yeah.
Well, they said definitely time if you had a low interest rate when you got your house. If you bought your house like a couple years ago, do not, for any reason, refinance it.
No. That's what's going to.
They all say they want to refinance your house. It's such a great thing to do. Not anymore. It's not. Maybe when the interest rates go down, maybe.
Well, it depends what you have.
But not now.
No.
Oh, I bought our house at 7% interest.
Well, the car dealers were offering 2 or 3% on a new car.
Yeah.
That's the only way they're going to sell that new
and
car.
And it's $50,000 on something that 5 years ago was $22,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I'm sorry, no. I don't even think they can offer that low of interest rate now for the new ones. I think it's 7% minimum now.
Well, I saw something somewhere that was 2 or 3%.
They must be putting the price of the vehicle into the interest.
Well, the cost of the vehicles is just absolutely nuts.
Oh yeah. I mean, these just simple cars that are everything on Chrysler's page, where it used to be even a couple years ago, where you're seeing $5,000, $10,000 vehicles. You know, 12,000, 15,000.
22 is like the
yeah.
bottom
It used to be the high was maybe 22, 23 for a standard car. Now that standard car is like 30 or 40,000.
I think Nikki said when she bought her Pilot, she bought a brand new one with all the bells and whistles, and it was $43,000.
Yeah.
And it was only
and now that same one's probably 60,000.
Yeah.
Same exact year group, probably even.
Well, it's a new year group, but only by a year or two, maybe.
Yeah.
But hers is almost the same as ours, except that she's got all the bells.
She got she got the like, executive package, or
and
something.
it's maybe a year younger or older. Yeah, a year younger, but it's got.
Okay, so it's a 2020 model, so that
something like that, and I think she's got 20,000 miles on it.
Yeah.
But they bought it new.
Yeah. Nice. And they have a new.
Well, it's.
Ooh, there's a big ass van.
Yeah, I'm sure that's efficient. Yeah.
If you're doing van life, maybe.
Well, yeah, or mobile command post or something.
So otherwise, you gotta look for some Econoline thing or something.
Even those are hard to find. Where's 26 for a used Challenge?
Ouch.
Not real practical for much else.
A lot of people are taking those vans there, including the homes.
Well, they make sense. Yeah. They're big. This is pretty big
is
too.
Huge. Oh,
it's 26 grand is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, you got a lot of room there.
Yeah.
You can make one heck of a van life out of that thing.
It's 2-wheel drive.
Oh. See, a lot of them people are going for the 4-wheel drive ones.
Well, of course.
Because then they can take them off road and other places.
Well, with not going crazy off road, just
no, yeah, just like backcountry stuff.
Yeah.
If they really want to make them off-roady, they can do like some of the other ones they've done. Really put lift kits and springs and all types of
some guys are putting lift kits and Pilots and Ridgeways and running them way off the road.
Putting big ass 35 inches on
almost, yeah. And I'm like, really?
They're ripping out the they're upgrading the brakes, and they're ripping out the axles and put bigger, heavier axles on them and struts and everything else.
I think they're okay the way they come, and you can do some off-road with them.
Oh yeah, some of them are doing as much off-road capability stuff to them.
Almost open. Maybe.
Don't know.
Got a bug.
They're doing
juice.
as much things on it as like some of these Jeeps.
Yeah.
They're parting them out like, you know, like the ultimate off-road vehicle.
Well.
And honestly, you watch them just drive around with some standard street tires, and they're going through deep snow. I'm like, well, not the first thing I want to be doing, but.
Forced to go that way when I know your bladder needs to go.
Well, we got a little bit of time.
Thought I'd whip around Honda just for laughs.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of did when I got parts over here. A couple of these clips were $15 each.
Yeah, you're buying from Honda.
And 3 for the other ones. I was like, that's pretty nuts. I thought.
If you need them, that's where you got to go.
Well, yeah, because I went to O'Reilly's and they don't have them.
Versus hunting online for them and then paying the shipping fees online and
yeah.
roughly the same damn price or more. That's what it is. Although you consider you're going to be on compared to what you would probably end up be paying a lot of other places or so. I mean, you're probably not going to have to replace these clips very often. So.
Well, if I wouldn't have dropped one of them, it would have been fine. But a couple of them had broken. Cheap $3 ones had broken.
Obviously.
It doesn't tell you what year that is, but that's 23.5.
It's probably a 20 or 20.
Looks like they replaced the windshield on it too.
Well, yeah.
So.
It is what it is.
Well, yeah. I'm just saying, interesting things.
Yep.
And I don't know who owns this outfit over there. Whether they're under Ryan Honda or not.
Some of their dealers.
There's a big Toyota pickup.
Yep.
Next to a Ford pickup. Next to a Land Cruiser.
Yeah, the thing you never want to buy is that Land Cruiser.
Well,
no, everybody I've watched and all the
new
reviews I've
ones,
watched,
new ones stink. They're not the old
that
ones.
is terrible.
It's not the old ones were tough as nails.
Those things are like the kiddie version of the Land Rovers.
The old,
they're not much better than basically driving a minivan, honestly.
Well, the old one.
Yes, the old one. Yes.
Tough as nails.
Those. They were showing those things trying to go off road. And honestly, I think a RAV4 would have better capabilities than that thing has. And you know how terrible RAV4s are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is just new coming in. This originally, and they are smaller than any of the regular vehicles. But
they're like a Ford Ranger.
They're a Pilot with a pickup bed on the back. Is what they are.
Yeah. So like a Ford Ranger.
And for a lot of folks, it might be. And riding in Dean's, it's pretty nice. He does all kinds of things. He said, "No, I'm not going to pull a trailer with it. I'm not going Bajan with it." The Honor Guard Dean. It's a retired Air Force senior master, aircraft maintenance guy.
Oh yeah, that would have been just.
He said he had a full size one years ago, but he said he's not pulling big heavy trailers or you know. He said, but for what he does, it's all-wheel drive. Got 280 horses. And he's got a 2020.
An F-150.
Yep.
Although Fords are kind of crap right now.
They're not what they used to be.
They're a nice Ram. Even though this is an 08, it works really well.
Other than the rust. Most
Yeah, but it's runs with any vehicle.
you got a little tip, little clicky in there, but we're not.
You get used to it.
But we're not asking it to drive, you know,
No.
500-mile trips all the time.
No.
Pulling a load.
I wanted to do more stuff this year. I really did. But a lot of it's subject to what my back will do that day. It's like all these times I was like, oh, I'm gonna get up, go out and drive and get video and pictures and all this stuff. And I got out to the truck and I was like, put my leg in, my back's like, yeah, not today.